Hey guys, welcome to Flip Chart Friday. It's Melissa, and today we will be talking about how to make your website be better. And I know better is a very subjective term, so I am going to give you a little more information about what I mean, obviously. So when you're a provider and you're providing a service, and you're advertising and talking about that service on your website, a lot of times, and I talked about this in my last Flip Chart Friday, you need to be able to convey certain messages in a written form, which is kind of hard because you're missing all those extra cues like body language and tone and showing them that you're a real person and you can be trusted. So ways you can convey these messages and kind of be better as a provider for your customers or potential customers. You want to evoke a sense of trustworthiness. You really want to be reliable. You want to be knowledgeable. And you also want to, most importantly, make yourself seem human, right? There's that humanness factor to all three of those qualities, and you really want to be able to convey that humanness to your customers. So one way you can convey that humanness aspect of everything on your website, you can use what's called natural language. So natural language is kind of the opposite of stock languages. So for example, when you have a form on your website, a lot of times it'll just say, submit or something like that, just kind of the bare minimum of what you want your customer to do. So a lot of times you'll be able to customize language like that, or at least utilize it on the content on your website. So what you want to do is you want to make it conversational. Don't make it too formal, don't make it stuffy, don't make it dry. Just make it sound like you're having a conversation with your customer, even though they can't see you and you can't see them. Make it just sound like it would if it were a face-to-face conversation. You really also want to be able to tailor your language to your area, right? So, for example, I know this is kind of like a classic example, pop versus soda. Pop is a very Midwest term. A lot of other people call it soda. And you can get into pretty heated debates about which one is right, but both are used, right, according to the area you live in. So for example, if you are a plumber or someone who deals with porta potties or what have you, sometimes you may call it a restroom, sometimes it may be a lavatory, sometimes it may be a bathroom. Use whatever term is most appropriate to your customer base. If you're in HVAC, swamp cooler versus evaporative cooler. So those are, ways you can tailor your language to your area to make it sound more natural. But also, terms like fill out, you can maybe change that to give us your information, right? That's more of like an invitation. It's more what you would say to your customer. You schedule an appointment versus book an appointment. Book is kind of a little bit more casual, more conversational, and again, it's just tailoring it to what you believe your customer base would want to hear from you, how they'd want you to talk to them if you were actually partaking in a face-to-face conversation with them. So you can also make your website look better for Google, right? So you're placing the emphasis on your area's terms, and you can feel free to use synonyms, so we talked about restroom versus lavatory versus bathroom, right? So those are all kind of synonyms. Place emphasis on your area's terms, but feel free to use synonyms because Google has an algorithm that allows it to crawl your website and pick up on what is called latent semantic indexing, or LSI. So, delving into that a little bit, latent semantic indexing is basically just relationships between words, right? So, for example, if you're a plumber, Google is going to be able to pick up on contextual words that are often used in tandem with plumbing services. So you could have talk about pipes, you could have talk about leaks, drains, clogs. Google is going to be able to read those and understand that you're not just focusing on one keyword, plumbing, plumber, plumbing, plumber, in order to kind of spam your site, so to speak, and beat the system. It's going to see all these contextual words used in tandem with plumbing or plumber, and it's going to understand that your website is relevant and it is worthwhile for users to come to your site and look at the information because they're going to match up the user's search query with the information on your website. So that'll make your website seem better to Google. And again, with the example of HVAC, you might have heating, you will have cooling, you'll have air conditioning, you'll have furnace. All those terms, they're synonyms in some cases, right? But they'll also help you with Google. It'll make your website look better to Google because it'll be more relevant to your users and Google will be able to understand that. So I know we covered a kind of a dense topic here, but I hope it helped. These are just some ways to make your website more user-friendly, and it's also a way for your website to look better to Google. It'll help you pop up more naturally if you use, kind of synonyms, but also place emphasis on what your users want. So if you guys want, we are actually doing a webinar called The Power of Reviews here. It'll take place on Thursday, August 24th, and that's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.